And we are back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we are now going to get into talking about the Torpedo bat controversy. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but it really just took over headlines in the sports world, which is a good thing for baseball. It is definitely a good thing for baseball. They definitely need that because the NFL always dominates headlines, and obviously March Madness. We're in the Final Four now. NBA is getting closer to the playoffs. Baseball has just started, and baseball, kind of takes a back seat to a lot of these other events and other sports leagues. So they need this. So I think in a way this is a good thing. But the Torpedo bat, for those that don't know, it's a different kind of bat. It's basically, it's thicker in the sweet spot, and basically it's a bowling pin. That's what it is. So, a lot of players are using it. Many people just think the Yankees are using it, but players started using it last year. And you're going to see more teams start to use this. So, as far as we know, the players that use it now, on the Yankees, you got Cody Bellinger, Jazz Chisholm, Paul Goldschmidt, Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells. And with the Yankees, they were noticing with Anthony Volpe, he was getting jammed on a lot of his swings. So that's why, now he's using this bat. And, he had a 3-run homer the other day. He's gotten off to a good start. The Yankees have gotten off to a good start as it is, not just with Volpe, but that's one thing that was cited. The Cubs, a couple of players, Bellinger used it last year with the Cubs, but Dansby Swanson and Nico Horner used it, and they just scored, I think, 20 runs last night against the A's. Ellie De La Cruz, Jose Trevino used it. Adley Rutschman uses it. He's gotten off to a good start. Ryan Jeffers is using it. Francisco Lindor of the Mets. Davis Schneider of the Blue Jays. Junior Caminero of the Rays. So a lot of players are using this. So basically, it moves mass closer to the hands, making the bat feel lighter and increasing control. The widest part of the bat, the barrel, is customized to match where a hitter makes the most contact. But it's just, you had everybody go crazy over this because of the offensive explosion that the Yankees put on over the weekend and said, oh, they can't be doing this. What is this? And the Yankees had to get some kind of approval to use them. And they're not the only team that is using them. And, you have people saying, oh, Aaron Judge is using it. So, of course he had the weekend that he had. Aaron Judge is not using the Torpedo bat. Aaron Judge doesn't need to use that. So we could stop that. Okay? Now, it leads to, well, is it going to get outrighted completely? Or is everybody going to use it? Well, everybody's going to use it. But at some point, you would think that baseball is going to say, all right, well, that's enough. We're just going to completely outlaw them because, we can't be having these high-scoring games all the time. Well, first of all, when it comes to the Yankees, and I did mention this yesterday, the reason why they had a good weekend is not because of the Torpedo bats. No. It was because the Brewers' pitching was not good. And in the second and third game, in the first game, you had Freddie Peralta pitch, and he only gave up, 2 runs? Freddie Peralta's a good pitcher. Nestor Cortez, he struggled. Brewers pitching, like I said, in games 2 and 3, they struggled. That's why the Brewers lost. And look at what happened yesterday. The Brewers gave up 11 runs yesterday to the Royals. So, it's not a Yankee thing. It's a Brewer thing. Their pitching is not good right now. They have a ton of injuries to their pitching staff. So, but everybody wants to make a big deal about it because it's the Yankees. And a lot of people don't like the Yankees. And I get it. But if other teams are using it, it's legal. It's not a problem. And you had Trevor McGill of the Brewers, come out and say, well, it's the Yankees, so baseball's going to let it slide. But then you have the manager of the Brewers saying, well, what did he say? I don't know what the exact quote was. It was something like, it's not the wand, it's the magic or something like that. So, Brewers want that, and the Brewers are going to need all the help they can get right now because, Like I said, they're giving up a ton of runs this season. Their run differential is not great. Let's see if we can. Yeah, let's look that up quickly. Let's see if I can find it. So right now, you look at the Brewers, and they're 0-4 right now. Their run differential is minus 32. They have scored 15 runs, and their opponents have scored 47. And they're in last place. So, yeah, not looking good right now for them. But don't blame the torpedo bats. Blame the pitching. And it's not like these guys are bad players on the Yankees. Paul Goldschmidt, former MVP. Cody Bellinger, former MVP. Anthony Volpe is a solid player. Had a good postseason. Jazz Chisholm's a good player. You got him out of Miami now. You also have to be able to hit. The bat doesn't just hit itself. You got to be the one that is able to make contact with the ball. So, I just don't. I don't get it. But you know what? A lot of people always have things to say, and we're going to talk about that with Juan Soto as well. And I will come to the defense of Soto because it's just, it's ridiculous. But that's the one thing you got to worry about is just you're getting these high-scoring games now because baseball is not a high-scoring sport. That's not what it's meant to be. And we saw that in the juice ball era, especially when you go back to the London series with the Yankees and the Red Sox. How many runs did they score in that game because of the juice balls? You do worry about that. Because we saw with pitchers, they gained an advantage because of the sticky stuff, but they got rid of that. Pitchers had to adapt. But, and there are certain players that aren't doing good with it. I think Yandy Diaz is a player that is using it, and he didn't get off, and he hasn't gotten off to a good start. So, it's not going to work for everybody. And again, it's legal. If it was illegal, you wouldn't see him. You know who needs it? Because there was a very popular Boston fan that spoke out about it. Rafael Devers probably should use it right now because I don't even think he's gotten a hit yet. He's been striking out like crazy. And then, if there's a Red Sox fan watching this, you could say, well, Garrett Cole got hurt, so Rafael Devers can't own him this year. All right, fair enough. But still, everybody's got something to say. It's completely legal, and don't say that Aaron Judge is using it, because he's not. Aaron Judge doesn't need it. Aaron Judge could use a toothpick and hit the ball 600 feet, the way he's hitting right now to start the year. So, look, it's completely legal. Stop complaining about it. Your team could use it. And when I was watching the Rich Eisen show yesterday, it was said on the show, one of his co-hosts said, and he doesn't like the Yankees. He said, what, my one complaint is that my team didn't figure this out sooner. Yeah. That's the only thing you could say. But, this is coming from the analytics department. So, I know we complain about analytics, but things like this, you got to like. But, yeah, this is a former Yankee analyst, an MIT physicist, Aaron Leonhardt. He came up with this idea. Now he's with the Marlins. And you know what? It's about time the Yankees were ahead of the curve because it seemed like in years, these last several years that they've kind of fell behind in certain areas. They were kind of ahead of the game. So it's only 3 games though. And you know what? Let's see what the Torpedo Bats do tonight for the Yankees against the Diamondbacks because they are going up against the Diamondbacks' top 3 pitchers this upcoming series. They got Corbin Burns tonight. I think Zach Gallen is tomorrow, and then Merrill Kelly on Thursday. So let's see. Let's see if they continue to hit like they did over the weekend. And I guarantee you that is not going to be the case. Not going to say that they're going to get swept or anything. Maybe they win tonight, but you will not see the offensive performance that you saw over the weekend in this series against the Diamondbacks. You might see the Diamondbacks tee off a Yankee pitching tonight because, well, Warren is pitching and, wasn't great in the major leagues last year. Did have a good spring training, but did struggle in his last couple of starts. But we'll see what happens tonight. So that's how I feel with the torpedo bat stuff. I think everybody needs to calm down. Your team is going to use it, and when you see your players start doing good with it, then you're not going to complain. So let me know what you guys think though about the torpedo bat controversy. Let me know in the comments. So before we go to break, I just want to remind you guys once again to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to hit that super chat button in the chat if you want to see me acknowledge any thought or comment you may have throughout the live broadcast. Makes the show more lively, more entertaining between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. We appreciate you guys' viewership each and every day, so any contribution you can make to the show means the world to us as we put out content for you guys each and every day. And also, the other way to help out the show is by going to the link at the bottom of the show segment on the ticker, GSMCPodcast.net. That is GSMCPodcast.net. So when we come back from our next break, we will get into discussing some injury updates around the NBA to some star players, talk about the impact of those injuries as we near the end of the regular season in the NBA. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast.